Hey everybody, Gisele Grenier here. In this video tutorial, I'm going to be going over something pretty basic, tints, tones, and shades in foundational color theory, but how knowing this, knowing about this information, how it can help you with your mixed media as well. So what I've got here, I'm going to show you this part first. I've got Decor Traditions acrylic paints, and this is carbon black, cerulean blue, and titanium white. So these are the colors I'm going to be using for this part of the demonstration. And with these colors here, anytime if you think of, I don't even consider white and black colors. So when I talk about my limited palette, it's actual physical hues, not really whites and blacks. White and black is used to change the value of a color. So black can make it darker, white can make it lighter. So what we're looking at is you've got your pure color, and when I say pure color, I don't mean single pigment, I mean color. So we have cerulean blue. Anytime you add white to that, you get a tint of that color. Anytime you add black to that, you get a shade of that color. White lightens the value, black darkens the value. There's something in between which we take gray, and gray creates a tone of that value. We don't need to buy gray paint, we can make it ourselves, but you kind of have to match it. And what I do is I have gray palette paper, and I typically try to match the gray to be similar to this. One super easy way when you're making up your tints, tones, and shades and grays and all that stuff is you can take a picture with your cell phone and then throw it into something like Lightroom or Snapseed and convert it to grayscale. It'll eliminate the color where you can actually see the true values of everything taking place. All right, so let's do this demonstration first. So I'm going to take I'll put it right here. This is the cerulean blue. And then what you can't see is on my palette here is I'm going to take some white and I'm going to put that right here. I don't know what I was put to be a line. So there's a tint of that color. And then what you do from there, adding more white, now you're just lightening the value, okay? But it's still a tint. So anything that has the white added to it is a tint. So we're lightening the value. And that's we have to remove the excess. Maybe get some more white. There we go. And then I can take the excess paint, get a bit more blue, just so we can get something a little bit darker. There we go. Okay, you pure color, and as you add white, you're creating tints of that color. In the same respect, what we're going to be doing now, I'm going to rinse my brush really well. You really should be using a fresh brush when you're doing value studies, just because you don't want to contaminate the paint. So I'm going to take a bit more cerulean blue. This one here, you have to do much less increments. See? I should take my own advice. Ouch, I just hit the camera. I gotta get Joe to raise this camera. It keeps hitting my forehead. So let's go with a bit more blue. There we go. So all black does is it creates a shade. Trying to readjust that. One of the colors that you really get something noticeable is when you use yellow and black. That's really, like the black, I mean, it just kills it. So you don't have to go very, very far till you run out. So that creates the shade. And then what you do is you create the tone. Now I'm going somewhere with this. So now we're going to take white, a speck of black. And what I'm doing is I'm squinting my eyes so I don't see all the other crap going around me. I'm squinting my eyes so I can get a gray tone that's similar to the gray palette paper. And I think that's a little dark. There we go. And I'm going to take, let's get some fresh blue. I'm going to get the blue. And now what we're going to do is we're going to tone it down with the gray. So does this mean then that you should be mixing black and white to get your gray to create your tones? Not necessarily. So what I do is when I'm, creating tones to knock something back, I will use color to do that. And when I use color to do that, I'm thinking chromatic blacks to do that. You can also use, when you anytime you add a gray, it dulls it. So think of, you can also add the color opposite on the color wheel. It's complement to dull something. So that's why it's important. So how does this help you with mixed media? Well, we don't have as much. Let me just add some white to that so you can see what's really going on. She still has a blue tint. When you're working with mixed media, now in this particular instance, I'm going to be talking about the metallic paints. They're not available in a wide variety of palettes the way that I have. You can't see it, but I have a whole range of my Traditions palettes right in front. So what we're having to do is then take limited metallics, and can we do the same thing? So we can create tints, tones, and shades as well with metallic paints if we know the foundation. So the foundation is take your pure color, add white to create your tint, add gray to create your tone, add black to create your shade. So if we take that knowledge and then avoid chaos, I've got these. Ivory Pearl in the Deco Art Matte Metallics. It's not white, but it is a almost white color. I've got turquoise and I've got charcoal. Not a pure black, but almost black. Okay, so I have to re-record this part here as I was filming this segment. Was a big motorcycle that went by. I figured, you know what, I'll just redo it. Sorry about that. Okay, and I've got the window open. Hot, hot, hot. All right, so I've taken the turquoise, put it here, the ivory pearl here, and then the charcoal here and here. And what we're going to do now is I also really mixed it up. Where's my brush? And we're going to get a fresh brush. So let's just mix that up here. And I'm using more paint because everything is drying so fast. Okay, so let's go right with the charcoal, just a little bit. So taking the idea, the foundation, we're adding the charcoal metallic to the turquoise to create a shade. And you basically would do this until you would have no more blue in it. Okay? So I'm going to rinse that. And you wouldn't need to do that for everything. This is just to give you ideas of other combinations that you can make. So I'm going to create that gray. And it's not going to be a pure gray because this is not pure white and this is not pure black. Oh, it's pretty close to that gray. Here we go. So I'm going to take that there and let's mix that in there. And then we're just going to keep adding the gray to get our tones. Okay. So black creates the shade, gray creates the tones. Now let's create the tints. And if you have an extra brush, do that, so that way you're not contaminating it. Let's get a bit more blue in there. And though when you're creating the tints, they will take a little bit, their string will be a lot further because turquoise is such a powerful pigment. You can go really far with this. And then just go. So you can go really far with that. So by knowing the foundation of the purpose of knowing your values and what tints, tones, and shades are, you can apply it to anything. It doesn't have to be black and it doesn't have to be white. It could be the lightest color you have and the darkest color you have. That's a chromatic. So chromatic is really without color. So although I wouldn't use a pink for this, because if you were to try to take a pink instead of your white with the blue, you're going to get an actual change in the hue. Okay, value is white or black, but you can take that same principle, apply it to this for your mixed media. So I hope this little exercise helps you, and I would love to see snapshots of your experiments. So what to do, because YouTube doesn't allow pictures to be posted, head on over to the community or my Facebook page. Everything is linked below, and post your pictures there, and that's where primarily I'm hanging out with the discussions, because it's too hard on YouTube with commenting and then typing out, you know, things to try. Just do it over on the community and Facebook page and just post pictures. So much easier to help you along if we go that way. Alrighty, so looking forward to seeing your pictures, and until I see you next time, stay inspired.